Children of all ages, all around the world, welcome to another episode of Cloud Talk Live. Well, folks, welcome back to another episode of Cloud Talk Live. My name is Jeff DeVerter. I'm the Chief Technology Evangelist for us here at Cloud Talk Live. Now, I'm so delighted that you've chosen to join us here this morning, but I'd love for you to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and tell us where you are. I would love to know more about that. Our guests would love to see how far around the world our audience reaches. Now, if you want to get a hold of us, of course, you can comment just like you're going to do as you introduce yourself in the little comments below, but also, so you could send us an email at solve@rackspace.com. Easiest way to get a hold of us. Now, what is Solve, you ask? Well, I'm so glad that you did. Well, it is our thought leadership program over here at Rackspace Technology, and it's a great way to just broaden your own knowledge about the things that you're able to, learn and then take back into your organization, put it in your tool chest of knowledge, and make available for everyone. Now, another place where you can find that information is the stuff that I post over on the LinkedIn. If we're not already best friends over there, I'd love for you to reach out. Make a little connection, do a little follow, and send me a message. I'd love to know that you're there, engage in some of the content that I create over there. Now, also speaking of Solve, the podcast exists over there, and that is Cloud Talk. This is Cloud Talk Live because guess what? We're live, but the podcast is just plain old Cloud Talk, and you can get new episodes all the time over there as long as you are a subscriber. So if you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and do that to Cloud Talk, any place that your podcasts are found. Now, today's conversation, I'm really excited to have my friend Alex up on the stage. Alex joined us, it feels like a minute ago or a year ago or 10 years ago, but he is helping lead things over in lead things over in advisory services. Super smart guy, enjoying the glories of Starlink and a cloudy day and a big fat storm, but we'll hear more about that shortly when he joins. Now, I've been talking to Alex for a while about bringing this gentleman up, and that is Walter Rogers. Now, Walter is, he leads a company called MontyCloud, and you're going to learn all about how MontyCloud is able to help take those day two operations and keep those well-architected configs well-architected. So with that, let's bring up our guest here today. I'm really excited for him to join up. So Walter, Alex, welcome to Cloud Talk Live.
Great to be here.
Oh, man, so glad that you're here. Alex, you're dealing with some storms over there from what I understand.
You know, Florida living is exciting in every which way. And the excitement today is huge storms coming up from the Caribbean that, as we were rehearsing, took me out for about 5 minutes. So if I freeze, you're in great hands with Walter.
Fantastic. And especially if you freeze with a funny face on, we are going to highlight that here until you get back.
And freezing in Florida during the summer doesn't happen very often.
Doesn't happen very often. Yeah, take it when you can get it, I guess. Walter, welcome to the program. I'm glad that you're here.
Oh, it's an honor to be here, and I wish we had storms, but in Austin, we're about to enter that time of year where we have no rain. So
I know.
We'll water, Alex.
It was a dry spring. We've had a little bit recently, but it's not enough. This multi-year drought just continues.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not here to talk the weather, are we? We're here to talk about, the glories of cloud operations, specifically inside of AWS today. And if any of you have spent any time in any sort of cloud migration and modernization effort, you know that the best laid plans for your cloud environment, when you have got those fancy consultants will come in, your cloud partners will come in, you'll come up with this great organization for how to take these things from on-prem to move them out into the cloud, and don't they look all nice and shiny out there and perfectly architected? But unfortunately, day two sometimes shows up. And Alex, we here at Rackspace tend to spend a fair amount of time helping to, in a lot of cases, unravel those cloud configurations. Why don't you talk a little bit about what those challenges are?
Yeah, sure. So technical debt, the second you acquire any technology, you start to acquire debt as well.
Yeah.
And, the cloud is not brand new anymore. The cloud, AWS was founded in 2004. So we've got cloud implementations that are going back over a decade. Many that are 5 years older, 5 years or more older. And all of those, are acquiring debt. The good news is that dealing with debt in the cloud is a lot easier than dealing with debt in the old world, right? You're no longer worried about real estate and racks and, cabling and, COBOL code that no one knows how to, what it touches anymore. Everything is a little easier to manage in the cloud, but that doesn't mean you don't have needs that change. That decisions that you made, 2, 3, 4 years ago are not the right decisions anymore. So the good news is there's ways to remediate it. It's easy to remediate it. And now with the partnership that we have with Walter and MontyCloud Day 2, there's now ways to accelerate and automate that remediation. And that's really what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah. Fantastic. Now let's also real quick about how, of course there's technical debt, but then, again, those best laid plans that happen in those AWS configs tend to grow. The buyers for infrastructure in the cloud absolutely change. You move from this couple-year procurement cycle to this moment-by-moment procurement cycle, not by procurement, but by the folks down inside of IT, in the programming teams, and things can tend to grow.
Grow and change, right? That's the great thing about cloud, is that you can grow and change dynamically with the needs of your internal and external customers. But as you grow and change, some of the decisions that you made previously aren't necessarily the optimal decisions today. The other thing that also makes it even more fun, and I truly believe that this is all about opportunity. Yes, it's debt. Yeah, there's some things that you can do better, but it's all about creating more value for your stakeholders.
Right.
The hyperscalers are generating and improving their products every day. And that's one of the great benefits of cloud, is that the innovation cycle is so much faster. So not only is there some debt you have to deal with, not only are there some changes, that you have made or, have happened because of growth, you also have new stuff that you aren't necessarily taking advantage of. So if you look at all three of those streams, every once in a while, you can't manage them second by second, but it's really good to get into a cadence to actually review that you are taking full advantage of all the great stuff that is being made available to you. And you're also cleaning up and managing and optimizing what you already have. And that's what this is all about. Very positive, very high ROI, and frankly, very manageable, but there's work here.
There's work here. And there is one other challenge to that as well, and that is the evolution of what's happening in security, or the challenges that are happening, because that playing field changes on a moment-by-moment basis. So Walter, that kind of sets the stage for you.
Yeah, well, I wanted to build on what Alex had said related to innovation, because, when the cloud exploded on the market, greatest thing ever, everybody's dream and hope was innovation, right? Now, all of a sudden, I have two of my fingertips where the business can actually go and build their own stuff. And next thing you know, they're building stuff you don't know about. And that's where things tend to get out of control. But I'll give you two specific examples. I was on the board of another company some years ago, and the CFO came to me. This was probably 2013, 2014. And they had a fixed $20,000 a year expense management system cost. Somebody had built it. I don't know what it was. And she got sick of paying the bill. And she goes, "Can I please go and rebuild this on AWS?" And I was like, at the time, I wasn't really sure what that meant. I mean, it was 2013, right? So, but I was like, yeah, let's give it a run. And so she rebuilt it. It cost $6,000. Alex, they might have even used Rackspace, who knows, to help build it. And guess what the bill dropped to? It went from $20,000 a year to $1.20. So there's an example of the power of innovation when it's done correctly. Conversely, same company built an application, didn't build it correctly. All of a sudden, a surprise $20,000 a month bill showed up. And so it's really important when you're engineering your solution that you're taking into consideration the well-architected principles that AWS has brought forward to keep you out of trouble when it comes to security, compliance, costs, provisioning, all those things. And that's what makes the partnership between Rackspace, AWS, and MontyCloud so exciting, because now the customer has an opportunity to not only innovate, but stay safe, secure, compliant, and cost optimized.
Right. There's a lot of buzz these days about people who are having these challenges with what's happening in security, what's happening to these bills that are exploding. I don't understand what's happening here. I don't know what my exposures are, and some of them are knee-jerk reacting just as they did, I think, in some cases when they moved to the cloud, especially when you think about those migrations around the beginning of COVID. And some of them are pulling their workloads out, but most people are realizing, hey, you know what? The benefit that's here the opportunity for the benefit far outweighs the challenges. We need to find a solution for that. And up until recently, it's been to throw people at that. But Walter, at what point did you think this can be done programmatically? And boy, do I have an idea.
Well, I was fortunate enough to join MontyCloud a couple of years ago. The founders had already been building this amazing platform. They came out of AWS and Microsoft, and their vision was to give a simple operating plane for customers, MSPs, to use to help abstract away the complexity of the AWS console and provide insights, with the click of a button in less than 10 minutes, rather than having to throw lots and lots of people at the problem. And I got very excited about this when I joined a couple of years ago, and we decided to partner with, Rackspace and MSPs as our primary customer segment because the customer needs a co-pilot, and Rackspace is the co-pilot that can help them really make sense of the kind of infrastructure they have and how they can continue to optimize it.
So Alex, the word insights is one that's used an awful lot in technology, and it can kind of, gloss over the details that are actually really important. So when we think about Rackspace as an MSP, we think about how we're utilizing MontyCloud. What are those insights, and what are the values that they're bringing to not just us and our ability to manage workloads, but specifically to the customer?
Right. So this all, the framework, insights work better when they're in a framework. And the framework that we all use here is the well-architected framework. And Amazon offers a review, which is 37 questions. And we deal with hundreds, if not thousands of customers who know they should do it, but they don't. Why? It's like homework. Every company, though we've got a lot of growth and innovation and exciting thing going on, no company has so many people that someone wakes up in the morning and says, you know what, I want to fill out a detailed 37 question questionnaire about my IT environment, right? No one does that. So this is how we got together with MontyCloud, is we knew that our customers needed to do these wafers. Amazon wants you to do these wafers, well-articulated framework reviews. But no one wants to do them. So we found MontyCloud. We found out that they have essentially an automation to do wafer type scanning across the 6 wafer pillars in an automated fashion, as well as a ton of other stuff that helps a customer remediate what's found. So we just thought that this was fantastic. We want to help our customers run better. We found a partner that can help us diagnose and find the insights. And then that allows us to serve our customers better by saying, hey, here's a lot of stuff that you should be doing. Here's a lot of stuff that we think you need some help doing, and we're here to help. And here's some things to watch out for in the future, just so you don't get bitten. And that's essentially the value proposition that we have. And we hit the 6 well-architected framework pillars, which are, resilience, operational performance, security, cost optimization, sustainability, and efficiency. So we go and hit these so that we can, make sure that you're covering all the bases, customer. And we're there as sort of the guide, the co-pilot, to use Walter's term, as well as the surge capacity. I'm going to throw in an insight here now. We've now done dozens of these, and we're ramping up to do hundreds of these with our customers. And the feedback has just been tremendous. By the way, customers out there, we don't do this without your permission. If you're interested, give your CSM, give your salesperson a call, and we will do this for you. And what we're finding, complexities, cloud is complex. We're finding hundreds, if not thousands, of remediations that are needed to get to well-architected best practices. Some of these are small, little config here, a little cleanup here, a little report there. But we're finding every customer has dozens, if not hundreds, of relatively straightforward, critical ones. And these are overwhelmingly in the security area. And a lot of this comes from, clouds, implementations getting more complex, growing, and not taking advantage of the new security offers or the new security functionality that's available from the hyperscalers. So we go in and close those down, and no one wants to get bitten by having an easily remediated security hole that we can help you find.
Right.
Walter,
And so,
I'd love to add on to that if that's okay.
Please.
I love your example of the homework. Homework is good for you because it makes you smarter, but people don't necessarily want to do it. But we spent a lot of time studying the well-architected framework environment and opportunity before we jumped into it with MontyCloud. And what we heard from customers was, it's really great, but my gosh, it takes a lot of time. And it's really people intensive. It's opinion. It's, a lot of it is based on opinion, not fact. And as a result of that feedback, we decided to invest a lot of time and energy into automating that framework review. So much so that we're getting feedback from, partners or customers that we're saving them as much as 70% of the time associated with conducting that framework review. Now, imagine if you could do your homework in only 30% of the time available and go get an A+. Would you do that? Probably so. And that's the excitement here. Now, with the Rackspace partnership in particular, there's been some scripts that have been built by Rackspace that help take all of the output that we create and really provide some programmatic insights around what matters and what doesn't on behalf of that customer. And then you marry that with our automated remediation, all of a sudden, this process that used to be cumbersome, maybe painful for some people, becomes easy, very valuable, and gets them in a much better place than they were before.
And I'm going to throw in one more point here, and that's the dollars. Some of the remediations involve cost optimization.
Yep.
We've found with most of our large customers that they are, for instance, using suboptimal compute instances, right? So just going through and finding out, hey, you're running kind of old product here. You can run the same workloads in a new product that's more cost efficient for how you want to run. We can help you save money. The other thing we're finding is, and this is another area where we've been really close with MontyCloud, is the reviewing the tagging. Every customer I've ever dealt with has a tagging issue, right? It's just hard to stay on top of it. It's a process and people issue as much as anything else. And with MontyCloud, we can go quickly understand the tagging situation and identify areas for fixing it. So if you are on an EDP, for instance, you can get maximum credits. So it's not just, being well architected and best practices. We also help you, frankly, save some money. And rarely do you find something where, hey, we reduce risk, improve security, make you run better, and save you money. It's like, what's holding you back?
Yeah, sounds like a huge win.
Plus your approach, Alex, right? When you work with the customers, you give them really 3 paths, right? We can do it for you, we do it together, or you can do it yourself. And so this flexibility in how the customer can engage with Rackspace is amazing. It's really customer centric.
We want happy customers.
And I think it personifies in a large way what modern cloud operations look like. I mean, if we rewind the clock 10 years and everybody's in their own data center predominantly, and they've got their IT team, they can pretty much do it on their own. We weren't in a zero trust world. You could set up a good perimeter and you could manage those Windows and Linux servers and be good. You might bring in some folks a little bit here and there, but predominantly you're running it on your own. But in a modern cloud operations environment, it's too complex. The security environment changes too quickly. The cloud environment itself is changing, and your own configuration is changing quickly. And that has very real ramifications, all of which you guys have been calling out. And so a modern approach to cloud operations really is a trifecta. You're working with your cloud provider. You should be working with some sort of a cloud MSP to enhance your own capabilities, like Rackspace, and then with software that then adds the real automation power to the environment. And you have all the right people, you have all the right insights, you have all the right views, so that you can be successful and do what? Be successful as an organization. We're not here for technology's sake. We're here to make sure that your organization runs forward and beat your competitors. So, Alex, as you've gone in and the team has gone in and helped some customers, how about some real world examples? Without naming names to protect the innocent.
Sure. One customer that has just been a dream to work with. It's essentially a digital native. They're not a huge company, but they do spend a lot on AWS, and fundamentally their business runs on AWS, and they've been running great. They haven't had any issues per se, but they were interested in this, and we went in and did a MontyCloud scan, took the data, analyzed it a little further, and came back to them with a roadmap. And what we found was like everything, there are over 1,000, potential remediations, but most of them were nits and gnats. That's fine, right? They can be dealt with over time. But we also found one that was so shockingly large that we just had to deal with it immediately. And we worked with the customer. They wanted to actually do it themselves, but they realized that actually it required for one of their significant production applications, frankly, migrating it from the default implementation that they made, which made perfect sense at the time, was done quickly. It was a small application, to everything you've said, right? Oh, let's just throw everything into the default virtual public cloud and everything's cool. Well, it ended up turning into being a major application with lots of external users. Right. And lo and behold, that default implementation was a security nightmare. It turns out that when you put everything in that default, AWS cloud, every resource's IP address is exposed to the internet. Whoops. So they said, all right, first off, we had no idea that this application was doing this and how exposed we were. Two, we need to fix this fast and we don't have the people to do it. And three, let's go work together and then get this one cleaned up quick. And then let's methodically, using our tooling to prioritize through the years and use cloud changes, move forward. But at the cow moment that had we not done the scan, they didn't really realize this ticking time bomb that they had that was crucial to their business. So relief on all sides.
Fantastic example. So, Walter, I want to go back to you really quickly as we're getting close to the end. You made a comment earlier, and I want to double down on that. You sell to MSPs, not necessarily your end customers, not necessarily end customers. It's working with customers who can help enable that. Tell me about the process of making that decision and how that is a key part of the success for those end customers.
Well, what we found was that the MSPs were the trusted advisors to the customers in many, many cases because of the complexity associated with managing the cloud. End customers, large enterprises have lots of people that can throw at the problem, but most SMBs do not. And cloud engineers are expensive. They don't stick around very long. And so the MSPs are a crucial conduit for success. And so what we decided was, let's make the MSPs as successful as possible in how they support and engage with their customers. And I've got a long history with Rackspace. It was one of the very first phone calls that I made when we made that decision, and probably one of the best decisions that we've made. And it's been an amazing partnership now going on, 7-8 months now, Alex. And we've touched a lot of customers, and it makes it very easy for the customer to engage. I mean, Alex, let me ask you, that customer you just talked about, how long did it take to run that scan for that customer to get those insights?
I mean, the scan is done in minutes. The analysis is done in hours. The longest thing is actually scheduling the meetings for the raid outs. That's the biggest issue. And I also wanted to sort of say to sort of mirror what Walter's saying. So I run the advisory group. Our group is to help.
His group is there to help. Those storms in Florida are challenging. He'll be back in a second. But their advisory is really that glue between professional services. He's coming back. All right. Alex, you froze. I started to fill in for what advisory's role is. Tell us that again really quick.
Well, so they're wanting more operational advisory. We're moving away from migration advisory to operational and modernization advisory. Mm-hmm. So MontyCloud has actually enabled us to scale our relatively small team to way more customers than we'd be able to serve normally because of all the automation and insights that they have that we can then help customers help themselves or work with us. So it's been a scale engine for where I'm taking the advisory function.
Yeah. So last question then for you, Alex. People are obviously pretty excited about it now. How do they come and find you? How do they reach out to Rackspace? What is the easiest way for them to learn more?
So this works great if you're already a customer. So talk to your CSM, talk to your salesperson. Also, advisory@rackspace.com works. And I look at every email that comes in. So you will hear from us if you do that as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Oh, it looks like you froze right there at the end. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the program. I love the fact that we're talking about this trifecta of capability, the cloud provider in AWS, Rackspace as the MSP, and then, of course, the power in the automation from MontyCloud. So, Walter, Alex, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. All right, folks. So as we begin to wind up today's episode, let me push a button or two here. I want to, of course, call out if you want to head over to rackspace.com/solve. Over there, you will be able to get all sorts of great information, whether that is information about, the podcasts that we have, whether that is new articles, whether that is information about our research that we're doing around here. We just finished the data and AI research. You can just head over to rackspace.com/solve. And, it peaked up there for a second. Also, as we head into summer, everyone, we have been doing these live shows for 3 years now. Almost every single week, we've had at least one show that we've been here. And we've interacted with hundreds of thousands of you. It's been fantastic. But we are going to take a little summertime break. We are re-engineering what thought leadership looks like here, what this program itself looks like. So great stuff coming in short order. But for now, we're going to take the summer off. I wish I was taking the entire summer off, but we're just taking the summer off from our live streams. But I would be remiss if I didn't pop up a couple of names here, and I wanted to call out Daniel Gibson and Megan Fretz. They have been glue that has helped this whole program drive behind the scenes. And every single week they are here helping. Producer Daniel, he keeps the show running around here. Megan gets the word out. She helps back up on the production as well. And they have been a delight to work with through this program. I'm sure they'll be deeply involved in the next iteration of it as we come back for whatever our next season is coming up here in a few months. So I want to thank them personally for all the great help. Everyone, I hope you have a great summer. I look forward to seeing, don't push that button yet, to seeing when we get back here. My name is Jeff DeVerter, the Chief Technology Evangelist here at Rackspace Technology, and I want to say thank you for 3 years of an amazing Cloud Talk Live. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.